We're here because you guys are a major part of this new book, I Love You More Than My Dog. A big focus of the book is to really identify beloved companies and kind of get behind the scenes. What's the secret sauce? You know, what's the inner workings behind the clock of that made you beloved, and how are you going to sustain that, especially as you grow? Because you guys have had a big year this year, right?
Right. We've been able to continue to grow throughout 2008, 2009, despite the economic downturn. So I think a lot of the things that we put in place in the early years have really helped us and benefited us through both the crazy hyper-growth stages and even throughout a economic downturn like we had in 2008 and 2009.
Yep. You're the poster child for these kinds of the companies in this book, which is you sustained who you are, you never walked away from what got you to where you are in the first place, and that is what has kept you growing, prosperous and beloved, even through the, what was one of the most apocalyptic years in retailing history in the past couple years. So let's ask a couple questions. As you know,
Sure.
There's 3 case studies about Zappos in the book, and Tony,
thank you for the publicity.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here to do. I love Zappos. I started at Land's End, and once I came here, I was like, this is Land's End of shoes. It's so great, because it was like coming home again for me. So I would be here every day if I could. So we talked about 3 case studies in the book. The first one was what I call, or my own characteristic of it is, you guys enable the folks on the phones, your customer loyalty reps, to deliver your version of the miracle on 34th Street every day. And as you remember, that was when if a kid wanted something from Santa Claus and Macy's didn't have it, Santa Claus told him where to find it. So tell me about your decision to enable your operators to find shoes people don't have in stock.
Well, one of the things that we always thought of was that was important was this relationship, the long-term relationship with a customer, and that was more important to us than any individual sale that we could make. And so it just came about very naturally when we decided that we were going to really focus on customer service, and that if we didn't have something in stock, that we should try to find it for the customer. If we can't, that's one thing. But if we can, we will. If we don't have it in stock, we'll look on 5 different websites and try to see if we can find it. We won't place the order for the customer, but we'll let them know exactly where they can find it.
But that's easier said than done, right? Because
Right.
You already don't have a talk time for the folks on the phone, and now
Right.
You're adding extra minutes to that ever precious ticker, where a lot of companies are putting nickels, dimes, and quarters and pennies to that time. Tell me more about how that's come back to, I call the boomerang effect of that good decision.
Well, I think it's just very short-sighted to look at the nickels and dimes that you're trying to cut versus what the effect can be. So one of our core values is deliver wow through service, and there is very, very little incremental cost. Yes, it's more expensive to deliver a wow experience, but it's very little above and beyond what you would consider a satisfactory experience. So we don't want to be average. We don't want to just give a satisfactory experience. We don't want you to just be, we're not a customer satisfaction company,
Right.
We're a service company. And so we want to do that go that extra mile. And the extra mile might cost a little bit more, but the way we think about it, when you have a customer on the phone, you have their undivided attention. Our average talk time is about 5 to 6 minutes, so it costs $5 to $6 to service that customer. But the value that we get from the branding experience, the fact that they tell 5 to 10 of their closest friends once they get a wow experience, is priceless. And as a CFO, you can't really say priceless. There's some price to it, but it's definitely worth more than $5 to $6 on average per call.
There's a great return on investment.